Hi guys, welcome to the Knitting Expat Podcast channel. My name is Mina. I'll be your host today. I look a little bit ridiculous, I will admit, but I'm wearing my hug shrug, which is basically what I wear around the house all the time. It's one of my designs, and I'm also wearing this giant shawl that I shared with you guys last time I podcasted. This is the palette cleanser shawl that will be coming out at some point. It's not published yet, but I'm wearing these to cover up the fact that I'm still wearing my pajamas. It's been one of those days. It's been a super busy day with work and stuff. It's Wednesday the 28th of October. You guys won't be seeing this until tomorrow for a very good reason. Little hint at that over here. We'll get to that in a moment. But yeah, welcome to everyone. If you are new, thank you for checking me out. I hope you'll enjoy this video. It's an exciting one, for me at least anyway. I hope you guys will find it exciting too. And yeah, I'm really excited for today. I think this is episode 153, 54, something like that, around the 150-ish mark, or over 150, but I think 153 is right. And yeah, it's been about 2 weeks since I last podcasted, so on a roll to try and get back to some sort of a more regular schedule. There's been a lot happening in the last couple of weeks, all really good things, or it's really one thing, and it's been amazing, and it's all coming together now. I'm so excited to share with you guys. But first, where you can find me. Oh, I said welcome to new people, old people, if you've been around for ages, if you're an original subscriber from way back when I started this podcast, or any time between then and now, thank you so much for coming back. I'm still a bit rusty, if you can't tell. I keep forgetting what I want to say. I'm also really excited to get to this stuff, and so I'm fumbling my words a little bit. You can find me online in most places as Knitting Expat. I'm Knitting Expat on Instagram. My designs are for sale on Ravelry as Knitting Expat Designs. My personal my personal Ravelry is Mina Phillip, and you can find some of my patterns for sale on Etsy as well as Mina Makes, and that's the name of the shop on Etsy. I also sell other things on Etsy, such as like watercolor greeting cards and things that I've painted, which I'll share more about later in the video. But yeah, so let's get to the elephant in the room, this giant pile of beautiful knits. It's funny, I almost started this podcast by saying I don't have any finished objects this week, and then I realized I have this many finished objects to share with you guys. Although these aren't recent, these are all from this past year basically. The very first one was cast on at the literally, actually I think it was cast on New Year's Eve of last year, so basically beginning of this year, up until I think the last one was finished in September, towards the end of September. So it's been 9 months in the knitting, 10 months in the making overall, this project, and I'm just so excited to share with you. 8 wonderful yarn dyers and companies have supported this project of mine by sending me yarn support and being amazing throughout with all the delays and other things that have cropped up with this project this year. My original plan had been to have this project finished and published in August. We are now almost in November, so that clearly didn't happen, but COVID kind of really threw a spanner in the works for a lot of my plans for this year. But we're here now, and I'm so excited to be sharing it with you. And if you haven't gathered, but it is a collection of cowls, colourwork cowls to be specific, and yeah, I'm so excited. Okay, let me find the first one, because that's kind of where the story is, right here. Perfect. So this one is one that you may have already seen. I shared me knitting on this actually back in January when I went to New York for Vogue Knitting Live. It was one of my travel knitting projects that I worked on, and it was knit, the rainbow coloured yarn is my own hand spun from rolags that I made myself, which I was really proud of, and the grey is a farm yarn that I picked up a sweater quantity of actually at my very first Rhinebeck. Never knit the sweater I was thinking of knitting with it, and in the end I've used it piecemeal for lots of little projects as like a neutral colour to go with something more colourful, and I actually really love it as that kind of a yarn, and it works up so beautifully in that regards. It's a really nice sort of background colour. It's like a really nice neutral grey. It's not too cool, not too warm. It's very sort of just plain neutral mid-tone sort of grey. So this was the first cowl that I knit. And then I knit, and at the time, if you were watching one of my podcasts or something, I talked about how I'd probably write up this pattern and it might be part of like a bigger collection or something. Well, that idea then grew and became what you see now. And basically this entire collection is inspired by my heritage, essentially, the fact that I'm Iranian, or British Iranian technically. I was born in the UK, so I have both Iranian and British citizenship. My parents are Iranian. So I have a lot of family still in Iran, and yeah, so the inspiration behind the collection is Persian rugs and Oriental rugs, and there is a difference between the two. So Persian rugs are only Persian if they were made in Iran, whereas Oriental rugs refer to rugs and carpets made anywhere from like Turkey all the way to China sort of region, like Asia basically. Those are typically referred to as Oriental rugs. However, you can't, so all Persian rugs are also considered Oriental rugs, but not all Oriental rugs are Persian rugs. There we go, little fun fact for you. And yeah, anyway, so there's a lot of history and information around that side of stuff in the book that I've written. So yeah, there you go, it's a book. I don't think I'd said that yet. It's a book, I've written a book. It's so exciting. It's going to be an ebook initially, depending on interest, and if people would like to have a physical book, I can get that done. But initially I think my plan is to do it as an ebook only. And yeah, I've been working with my tech editor, who's been amazing, and I've been working with another lovely lady who's been helping, who's basically done the layout and walked me through step by step how to publish a book, how to self-publish a book. And some of the stuff I already knew, but there were a lot of other things that I wasn't aware of. And anyway, it's been a real learning experience. This last month has been an amazing learning experience since I started working with my designer person, my layout. I don't actually know what her job title is technically, but her name's Amelia, and she's amazing, and I really wouldn't it would not look as good as it does had it not been for Amelia. So like, hats off to Amelia for all the help with that. And yeah, I'm just so excited. This is going to be published on November the 5th, so a week from today. You'll start seeing me posting about it from today on Instagram, and next week I'm going to be filming a dedicated video around the ebook with a lot more details and give you a lot more of an inside look to the different designs. I'm not going to show you them all now because I kind of want to keep it a secret until that video, and I'll be sharing sneak peeks on Instagram in the run-up to the release. But I will tell you the yarn dyers and the companies that have been so graciously kind and supporting this idea of mine. So the yarn dyers and companies involved are, and I'm going to try and remember them, I'm not in no particular order, this is just how I'm like whatever order I've managed to remember them in. We've got At Haynes House, Legacy Fibre Arts, Lavender Loon Yarn Company, Julia Slane Yarns, Westwall, Lola Bean Yarn Company, Green Mountain Spinnery, and Seismic Yarns. I think that's the one I haven't said yet, Seismic Yarns. So 8 companies have provided me yarn for these designs. Like I said, 2 of them are out of my own handspun. Otherwise there are in general, there's 10 designs in the ebook. 2 of them I have duplicate knits samples of because I did them in my handspun. And the pattern, the ebook is written as an any gauge sort of method, like my hug shrug is written as an any gauge pattern. And there was a cowl pattern that I released last year, the any gauge tube cowl, which I knit out of handspun, and I did a knit with me series on. So this is kind of like an extension on that idea, and I've basically written a book. I still can't get over that. It still sounds really weird to say that I wrote a book. I mean, it's a knitting book, so it's not like I've written a novel, although it feels like it. It was something around, I don't know, I lost count of how many words ended up going into this book, but but yeah, I spent a lot of time and effort working on this, and I just hope you guys love it as much as I do. Like I said, there'll be a dedicated video for it. I'm also going to be co-hosting, running a cowl, a knit along for the patterns in this book. So you can either follow the patterns as written, specifically as they are written for the different samples, or you can follow the customization options essentially and knit your own cowl following your own gauge and measurements and all of that stuff from the book as well. So all of those options will count towards the knit along, and again, that standalone video will have all the knit along rules and requirements, etc. included in it. And that video is going to come out next Thursday, so the day the book's published. And what else was I going to say? I'll include a link to all the different websites for the different yarn dyers that I mentioned. And I'm trying to think what other information I wanted to include. Yes, we already have a host of really wonderful prizes that have been generously donated by a bunch of the yarn dyers as well as prizes for the knit along. And as more come in, I will add those to the list of prizes. If there's anyone who would like to donate a prize, please let me know. I can add that to the list of prizes that will be in the Ravelry thread. So like I said, I'll explain more about it in the video next week, but there will be a Ravelry thread for the knit along, but I'm also going to be doing it on Instagram as well, because I know some people don't have or cannot access Ravelry due to the new changes that Ravelry has made. So the details for the knit along will be in next week's video as well. So if you can't access Ravelry, you can still access it in the description box of that video, and then you can also enter via Instagram if you can't use Ravelry. The ebook will hopefully be available on both Ravelry and Etsy. I need to figure it out because Etsy has a limit on the file size that you can upload to the website for sale, so I need to figure out how that's going to work, whether or not the ebook's going to be bigger than that or not. So fingers crossed that works out, otherwise I'm not sure how I'm going to do that. I will find a way. And then what else? I think that's it for now. I'm also vlogging this week leading up to the publication, so that will be a video coming out next week as well. And I hope you guys will enjoy some little behind the scenes of the getting prepared and getting ready to publish and all of that jazz. I don't think there's gonna be a huge amount. It's more just me going, I'm so excited, I can't wait, I'm so excited, like on repeat basically. So it's been a long time coming, like I said. And my mum, my brother and Perry have all modelled the photos for the book, which I'm really grateful for. And I did all the photography myself, and there's even a couple of Layla in there as well, so that was really cute. Alright, so like I said, more about the book later. Do let me know if this is the sort of thing that you'd be interested in getting a physical copy of. I'm thinking what I might do, if there's enough interest, what I might do when the book publishes, I'll put up a pre-order option where you can get a physical book and the ebook together as like for a combined price. So that way, if you want to get an ebook only, you can do that, but if you want the hard copy as well as an ebook, then you can do that together as well, because the hard copy, like I said, it would be a pre-order, so it wouldn't ship out straight away. So you'd at least get the ebook immediately, and then a hard copy would follow a couple of weeks later or something. So we'll see. Let me know in the comments below if that's something you'd be interested in, and I'll look into doing that. Exciting. So all right, that's enough chat about that. I feel like we just spent 15 minutes talking about that one project, but so excited, so excited. Okay, so now I don't think I can stop smiling, which makes a nice change from last podcast where it was quite sad. Anyway, let's move on. Other things I wanted to tell you guys about. I don't actually have any other finished objects to share with you because, like I said, that's been my main focus for the last few weeks. Another thing that I did do was I was going through and tidying up my office and stuff, and I had a giant tote bag, one of those like shopping tote bags, those reusable, the ones you get at the supermarket. I had one of those absolutely overflowing with minis. Like, it was ridiculous how many minis I had, and scraps and left, not just mini skeins as in like minis that were purchased or sent to me, just leftover yarns and minis and scraps from past projects from the last few years. And so what I did was I kind of had a look at everything. I think I had over 160 different scraps, and leftovers and stuff. And I asked on Instagram if anyone would be interested in like a Scrappy mini skein advent calendar made up from my scraps, essentially. Like and it'd be a mix. There was a mix of hand dyed, commercially dyed, and there was even a few hand spun bits in there as well. And there was quite a bit of a demand. I say a bit of demand. There was quite a bit of interest, so I made them up. I ended up making 10 calendars in the end, was what I was able to get out of all of my scraps. And some of them, as I was going through, were I did 5 gram and 10 gram calendars, and there were some that had less than 5 grams altogether. So I made a giant magic cake ball out of all the scraps that weren't at a minimum 5 grams. So some of the scraps that I put in those calendars were more than 5 grams and more than 10 grams. But if it was less than 5 grams, they went into this ball. And so since the last time I recorded, I know I said I was done with this crochet blanket and that it was done and I was putting it aside and it was finished and all of that jazz. But turns out I lied. So last time I recorded, it was up to here. I've now added this much more to it. It just didn't feel quite right. I wanted it to be bigger, so I was like, well, why am I just stopping now for the sake of it? I'm in no hurry. So I've just been making it longer. I've added more to it, and I'm also going to add this to it. So this is over 200 grams of fingering weight yarn here. That's going to take me a while to work through, but I'm going to add that to the blanket and see where we're at. I'm basically done with my scraps now. I don't have that many left. I had set aside, it's been a lot of there's a lot of scrappy projects to talk about in this video. So that was my granny stripe blanket. It's not, I'm not following, I started following a pattern by Attic 24. It's the original pattern that I used for this, but now it's basically just a bunch of double crochets in clusters of 3 along each row. That's basically all it is. I'm not a huge crocheter. That's about all I know how to do with crochet. So the other thing scrappy project I've been working on are these pinwheel scrap blanket blocks, which I think I had 3 that I showed you last time. I can't remember which 3 they were, but I had 3 that I showed you last time I podcasted that I had done. And since then I did another 7, so I have 10, and then I wove in all the ends. So I have 10 with all the ends woven in. And then whilst I was doing all of the advent calendars, I'd set aside the scraps that I hadn't knit up yet into a pinwheel block to knit those up. I think that's the last of the 10 that ends were woven in. And then I've now knit up another 9 blocks, which is really annoying because I ran out of scraps. Otherwise I really wanted to have 10 done, and just anyway, I'll find something to do the last block with and get a nice round number. So I did another 9 blocks, and these ones still need their ends woven in. Some of these are some of the yarns are repeats from yarns that I've already used in other blocks, but that's fine. Most of the time those are yarns that were used for projects for Layla specifically, or they're like my hand spun or super special skeins, and that's why I don't mind having them in there more than once, because they're projects for Layla and this blanket's for Layla. This one's a really special block. This has all the a bunch of the yarns from the cowl book project that I did. That has a bunch of those yarns in it. Where's the other block that has it? Oh, this one also has yarns from that in it. I think that was it. Yes, they're in these 2. But most of the yarns from the collection have ended up in these 2 blocks, which is really special. I had a couple of others. This one I finished this morning. And yeah, so now my fingering weight scraps are a lot more reasonably sized pile or smaller bag of scraps. I do have enough actually to do another 1 or 2 advent calendars. If anyone is interested and wants one, feel free to send me a message or send me a message or an email. My email is knittingexpat@gmail.com, or you can send me a message on Instagram. But email would probably be better. Anyway, let me know if you're interested. I can let you know what the costs are now that I've sent them out. I mean, they'll be the same as the ones I sent out already, but if you are interested, let me know and I can definitely do that for you. I'm I'm kind of just like liking the fact that I'm managing to get all these scraps out the door and like no longer clogging up my cupboard in my office. But yeah, those are the other 2 projects I've been working on in between getting this book ready, mainly because they don't take any brain power, and I am working on one other project, but I stopped working on that on Saturday, so a few days ago, because I've reached a point where I need to do some more maths and calculations, and I have not had the brain space to do that. I haven't had time to do it over the weekend because Layla's not in school at the weekend, so I have to look after her, and between me and Perry, it's the weekend. I try not to work on weekends, but I was also teaching this weekend. Oh my goodness, it's been very busy. So yes, Scrappy projects have been great for this period in my life right now, where I just needed a lot of non-brain functioning knitting, I guess. Like, I've knit these 19 blocks in the month of October mostly. So yeah, I need to go through my yarns and see if I have any minis that I've missed or something, so I can knit up a one more block and make it a nice 20 number. I knit 20 blocks last year, most of them in December of last year during Vlogmas, and so there's another almost 20 blocks to add to that, and I think I want 60 in total for her blanket, so I only have another 20 to go. They really are very quick once you get into it, and once you get a rhythm going and you've memorized the pattern. Like, they are very quick to knit up. Each triangle, especially at this weight, so I've modified the pattern slightly. The pattern is written for fingering weight yarn, and I've modified it to use a DK / worsted weight / there's even some bulky in there, and some hand spun, which varies in weight, so all sorts. And for the fingering weight that I use in these blocks, I just hold it double, so they knit up very quickly. Sorry, a bit of a dry cough today. And what was I going to say? Yes, each triangle takes about 10 minutes, maybe 15 if I'm a bit distracted, but they are very quick to knit up, so there really doesn't take a huge amount of time at all. And yeah, I have these ends to weave in, so that's going to be a job for later today, and then I'll probably work a bit on this blanket this evening, I think, or maybe I'll actually pull out my spinning wheel and use it for the first time since, what, April? So yeah, my poor spinning wheel's been very neglected this year. I think I kind of just hit a point with it earlier this year, and I don't know, when the weather started warming up, I didn't really feel like spinning that much because it was hot and sticky and stuff, and we don't have air conditioning in the UK, so there's that. But I think I might pull that out this evening. That might be a nice little relaxing thing to work on. I don't know, it depends if Perry's working tonight or not. If he's working, then I'll do that. If not, I know the sound of me spinning when we're watching TV can be a little bit annoying for him, so we'll see about that. So the other project I have on the needles is the sweater project, which I believe I showed you guys last time I podcasted. I don't actually know if I did or didn't, but I cast it on for what would have been Rhinebeck weekend this year, and I picked up this yarn at India Untangled last year at Rhinebeck. So India Untangled is the day before like actual Rhinebeck or New York Sheep and Wool festival happens. So I picked this yarn up from Candice, who is the dyer and owner behind Farmer's Daughter Fibers. Let me find the tag. Yeah, Farmer's Daughter Fibers. Get that to focus, there we go. And so I have her Suri alpaca base, which is called Odang. And this is in the Paul Newman colorway. And the other skein is this one, and this is her DK Pishkun base, Pishkun, Pishkun. It's 100% Montana and Wyoming Rambouillet, and this is in the Sonoma colorway, which is beautiful. I absolutely love these colors, and it's amazing how they look separately and then how they look knit up together. I think that juxtaposition is quite interesting. The grey kind of really mutes down the red in the purple, and so it gives a really sort of more like a darker purple tone overall, and it's just really nice how it looks. And I'm at that point now, so this is, let me find the, there we go. Nope, wrong way around. There we go. Okay, so it's going to be a set-in sleeve type construction. You can see you've got the little armhole shaping thing going on here. So you can see I've done the top down. I'm on the body, but because I only have a limited amount of yarn, and I want to make sure I don't run out before I get the sleeves to be the length that I want, what I'm going to do now is put the body on pause, and I'm going to do the neckline, and then I need to do the sleeves, and then I'm going to come back and finish the body. The reason why I haven't done that yet is I actually still need to do the maths for the sleeve cap, short rows for the sleeve, the maths on the short rows for the sleeve cap. So that's a job for tomorrow, because like I said, I've been super busy this week, and I finally pretty much done all of my to-dos for this week for the Cowls ebook project that I'm working on. So that's mostly done. Everything that I can do this week for that is mostly done now. So there's only a couple of little things. So tomorrow I'm going to try and focus on getting this sweater finished, sleeve drafting, grading, whatever majiggy thingy, and get that started so I can work on this over the weekend. And yeah, so that's my main project right now. I am absolutely in love with this texture. It's just really fun and springy and springy, and it's just cozy, and it's so soft, and I'm gonna live in this winter. I'm pretty sure it's just gonna be permanently worn all winter because it's gonna be so warm. And the only other thing I have, and it's not even on the needles yet, is I've got some sock yarn wound up ready to go in my Whimsy Stitches sock bag. And this is just some turtle pearl yarns in the Rainbow Bright colorway, I want to say. It's just a self-striping yarn there. And I have a contrasting color that's from my stash. It's not turtle pearl yarns, but it's just a contrasting color I had in my stash to use for the cuffs, heels and toes. And yes, that's just waiting to cast on. I may actually cast this on for the weekend, because on Saturday, I guess we're done with the knitting project, so we'll move on to what else is happening, general life updates. Saturday is Halloween, and we're not trick-or-treating this year because of the virus and all that, but I think we're going to go to Perry's parents' house for Saturday, and Perry's mum's doing a roast dinner. And so I think what we might do is like a little treasure hunt at their home for the kids to go find sweets. And I don't know if Josh is coming, Layla's cousin. I don't know if he's going to be coming over as well. But yeah, I think we'll probably just do a little treasure hunt either in the garden if the weather's nice, or in the home we'll just hide some sweets around or something for the kids to go find and have a little fun. And Layla has a Buzz Lightyear costume for this year, which is really cute. It's actually really big, so she'll be able to wear it for the next year or two, which is quite nice. Or she'll get some good wear out of that. So yeah, I might actually cast the socks on for taking to Perry's parents' house, because it'll be easier to work on socks there than a big sweater. Yeah, that's it for that. What else has been going on? Things have been a bit hectic. I say hectic, been a bit haywire in the UK with regards to the virus. Cases are starting to pick up again, and so different areas are going into, there's a tier system now, which depending on which tier your area is in, depends on what restrictions you're under, etc, etc. Our area is in the lowest tier, so I mean, to be fair, we've not had a lot of cases in our area throughout the whole pandemic in general, and so, you know, it's been pretty good in that regards. It's been pretty safe. The risk levels and stuff have been pretty low around where we were at, so we're quite lucky. We're still able to go and like meet up in small groups. Like we can go around to Perry's parents' house for a meal, and we can go inside and we can and stuff like that. Whereas other areas are under much tighter lockdown restrictions at the moment. So very thankful for that. And I know, you know, even if we did have more restrictions, we would obviously abide by them. I mean, at the end of the day, they're there for a reason. So don't get me wrong, no fan of our current government, but at the same time, no one knows what they're doing. I mean, they've definitely made some mistakes, but anyway, I'm not going to get into a political talk right now, but yeah, things are what they are. Hopefully next year will be better. It's been really hard to make plans for 2021 because you just really don't know where things are going right now. We have some tentative plans for the end of next year, so fingers crossed by then we'll be okay to do what we had planned. For now, it's kind of just wait and see, and then as and when things change, I guess we'll make decisions about what we can potentially do. That's it for everything I wanted to share with you guys today, I think. Oh wait, no, I do have some other things to share with you, watercolor related, and I know I shared a bit with you guys last time, but I've just today, so on Wednesday, the day before you're seeing this, and I've shared it onto my Instagram as well, but in case you haven't seen that, I've added all the new greeting cards and note cards, and even a couple of original original paintings to my Etsy shop for sale now. So there's a bunch of greeting cards available right now. So these are A6 size, and they are the folding greeting cards. Like, they're like the ones that I had for sale before. So they open up, they're blank on the inside, and you can write whatever message you want on them. And so these are available in packs of 6, and I have a few that are in packs of 5. So there's a whole bunch of these. There's a good restock of those. And then I also did, for the first time, I did packs of note cards. And so these are A5 sized, and they are just, let me open one up and show you. They're just one sheet, they're not a card, they're not folded. So it's A5, so they're twice the size of the greeting cards. They will ship with appropriately sized craft coloured brown envelopes, and so you could treat them like a card where you can just write a message on the back, pop it in an envelope and post it, or you can treat it as like an art print and you can frame it or hang it up on a wall or stick it on your fridge or put it on a shelf, whatever you want to do with it. Or both, you can send it as a card to someone with a note on the back, and then they can use it as an art print in their home, on their shelf, on their fridge, whatever they want to as decoration. So it's kind of a 2-for-1, which I quite like. And I like the fact that I can offer these to you at a larger size than the A6. So these are bigger, and so more usable as like actual artwork in your home, if that's what you want to use it for. So these are now all up in the Etsy shop. And pop that back in. And I've also got 3 original paintings listed as well for sale. So there's this red ballerina, watering can with flowers, and blue ballerina as well for sale. These are the originals, and so I've signed them on the back and dated them in pencil, so there's no writing on the front of them at all. They're 7 by 10 inches. There is space that you could trim them at the top and bottom a bit if you needed to fit in a frame. For most of them, there's a bit of space at the top and bottom. And yeah, these are originals. So, and they're painted with artist grade quality watercolors on 100% cotton watercolor paper. So good quality archival materials, as it were. Okay, so that's it for everything I wanted to say. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed that. There's a whole bunch of links and everything down below. If you are new and you haven't subscribed yet, feel free to subscribe if you'd like to see more of what's going to be coming on the channel. I'm going to be posting more frequently, hopefully, and there's definitely going to be a video coming next week about the ebook, so make sure you come back for that. I know I said in the last podcast that I was going to be doing a Knit With Me series for this shawl, and I still plan to do that. I'm just not sure right now when that's going to be. So I was going to ask you guys, for a Knit With Me series for this shawl, would you rather it be starting from the beginning of December, so it can be kind of like an Advent project, where I release a video every week or once or twice a week for the series that you can knit along with, as something relaxing that you can do during December? Or is December just too crazy and too busy and you'd rather wait for January and we can do it in January, the Knit With Me series? I was going to be doing it in November, but because the Cowls ebook is launching in November, there's going to be a lot of stuff happening around that, and I'm doing the knit along for that as well and all of that. I think there's going to be too much happening. I'm gonna have too much on my plate as it is for November with other things that I'm working on. I don't want to rush this. I kind of want to enjoy it, and I want to knit along with you guys, and I just know what my schedule is going to be like. So and I have 2 weekends in November where I'm going to be teaching as well, so there's that too, so I guess I should tell you about that. I'm going to be teaching, I think it's next weekend, so the weekend after the Cowls ebook launches, I'll be teaching at Barcelona Knits Festival online, and then the following weekend I'm going to be teaching for Vogue Knitting Live, for their virtual Knitting Live event in November. I will try and remember to put links to both of those websites down below, otherwise you can find them quite easily via Google. And if you'd like to take one of my classes, by all means sign up. And yeah, so let me know a couple of things. So there's a few questions for you guys. One, would you guys be interested in a hard copy of the ebook? So would you be interested in only having an ebook, or would you like to have a hard copy and ebook combo option? Second of all, would you prefer to have the Knit With Me series come out in December or January, to kind of like as a thing that you can knit along with? So it'll be kind of like a little knit along as well for that. And what was the third question? I think that was it. 2 questions. Would you like an ebook and hard copy combo, or just the ebook? And December or January for the Knit With Me series. Those were the 2 questions. Okay. I hope you guys are doing well. I've got to get going now. I have a lot of other things. I've got to tidy up this mess on this table and edit this podcast. So I will see you guys soon. All right, take care. I'll see you next week. Bye. Just in case you didn't believe me, this is what my dining table now looks like. And that was my super sophisticated camera holding device. My tripod is set up downstairs for teaching. I didn't want to bother moving it and resetting it up, so I just used a couple of books and a box. Super professional over here.